Welcome back to Triple Ball Sports Talk. I'm Josh. That's Bryce. That's Roy over there. Hey, Roy, nice hat. Second place team.
Hey,
Uh,
maybe this will bring some luck. I didn't bring my triple alpha hat, so maybe
well,
I wear this hat all the time, and maybe I need to get me a new Yankees hat. I don't know.
it's 0-0, but it's delayed. Uh,
Or storming because they're at
yeah, it
home,
is.
aren't they?
They're at home. They're in New York. Yeah, it's 0-0 in the fourth. All right. Pod 87.
Damn.
I know we're getting up there. I didn't want to say anything until we got to like 93 or 94. Then it's gonna start getting a little weird. 100 episode. We're gonna have to do something special. We have some topics to talk about this week, but I'm gonna rip our draft because nothing has changed. Bryce 308 first, Roy 287 has made up some ground this week. I will give him that, but still a little bit out. I'm at 270. I actually have made ground as well. Bryce had probably the worst week he's had in a month, and he still had a good week. But
You
don't get
finally
me
got a
wrong.
win from the Yankees, so you made up one game there.
Well, the Yankees have only won once since I've been back from Michigan, so
Yeah.
that's cool. Um, so yeah, no other things, no other updates. I'm not going to go through them. Not a lot has changed in that regard. Um, Roy, you want to rip the standings real quick?
Yeah, I mean, there's only
Not
really
a lot
one
of
big
changes.
change, and that's in the American League East. Toronto took over first place, and it's now a 3.5 game lead on the Yankees, which is
Yep.
just embarrassing. Tampa's third, 4 games back. Boston 6.5 back, and then Baltimore 12.5 back. So they're Baltimore's still in striking distance. I don't want.
Yeah.
I mean, 12 games isn't that bad. Ready to go to
No,
All
but
Star break.
what's their record? It's on the under.
They're only 40 and 49. I mean, they're nine
Yeah,
games
it's
under.
still 9 under. That's I just don't see it, but I think they're going to
But
sell.
I mean, but we'll talk about that here after. I would talk about wild card anyway. Central, the Detroit has pretty much run away with this thing.
Yeah.
They are 14 games up on Kansas City and Minnesota now. 14 games. That's ridiculous. Cleveland's 15 and a half out, and then White Sox are 27 and a half out. Houston is still got the lead. They're 6.5 games over Seattle, 10.5 on the Angels, 11 games on Texas, and then 18.5. The A's are 18.5 games out. The NL East, Philly still rocking first place, but only one game up on the Mets. Miami is 11 games back from Philly. Atlanta has fallen to fourth, and it's 13 games back. I was talking to Logan Boyd, and he said that they haven't. I think they've won one game in the last 12 or something like that, maybe 10, something like
Two
that.
and eight in the last 10.
2-8. So yeah, he was not. He says it's been pretty bad. Washington 37-53. They're 15 and a half games back.
Well, I'll pause you right there. Just a quick knowledge. Washington, who has the number one pick this Sunday in the MLB draft, fired their head coach, fired their general manager after making the Juan Soto trade, which, let's be real, it's paying off pretty well this year for all the players. But yeah, both fired. So just wanted to throw that in there because we're not going to talk about it really. But go ahead.
All right, the NL Central Cubs still lead the division. They are still up 3.5 on Milwaukee, 6.5 on St. Louis. Cincinnati's fourth with 8.5 back, and in Pittsburgh 17.5 back. Can't win. Pittsburgh can't win, can't score runs when Skeen's on the mound. Dodgers still leading the West, NL West. San Francisco is second, 6 games back. San Diego is 7 games back. Arizona 10.5. Hearing a lot of trade rumors about them now, as I read this week. And in Colorado, still 34.5 games back. 21-70 is their record.
Yeah. Usually we say, what we think about the standings, but that kind of leads into my topic. Let's be real. Next week when we do this, All Star Weekend would really have. I think the All Star game is Tuesday night when we record. We're obviously doing these on Tuesdays, so I think the All Star game will be going on as we record. So, but pretty much all the festives and the All Star game itself will have concluded by the time you guys see our next episode. So I want to talk about. I know this technically isn't the halfway point. We're a little bit past the halfway point where the break hits. And we've done this throughout the weeks since baseball started. But biggest surprise, biggest disappointments, and you can give me multiple. You can give me one, and just talk a little bit about it. Talk about. I mean, we've talked about Baltimore a lot. We've talked about all some of these other teams a lot, but give me your guys' biggest surprise and biggest disappointment on the season. And it can be for anything. It doesn't even have to be worst record.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
My biggest surprise so far up to this point this season has been the Detroit Tigers. If you remember watching them last year, I mean, we had high hopes for them last year. They made a blatant run at the end of the year last year and got to the playoffs. But Torkelson and all those teams, they weren't very good. I mean, they just weren't a very good team. Coming this year, I thought they'd be good, but not. I mean, they are 24 games above 500 at this point, 58,
Yeah.
34. I mean, to me, they have their young players at Pitt. I mean, where did Javier Baez all of a sudden they moved to center
Yeah.
field, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, where'd he come from? I mean,
Yeah.
so they have been my biggest surprise. My biggest disappointment, I hate to say it, my biggest disappointment this year has been this team so far in mine. Just because, I mean, I know they're 8 games to 500. I really had hopes of Devin Williams, Luke Weaver, and this bullpen being a bunch of studs, just
Yeah.
being. And then you had going into the season, you had starters that you were like, okay, we're gonna be good. Freed, I thought was really good at the beginning of the year. Now he's starting to kind of fall back a little bit. No Garrett Cole or stuff, but I really they have disappointed me I mean, for letting because I don't think Blue Jays are that good. I don't think the Rays are that good. I think they're just average baseball teams, and you're letting them stay in this, saying you had a chance to run away with this, and then you go on a huge lose streak. So those are mine.
Bryce, you want to go?
Yeah, I'm probably not going to talk very long because I don't want to be up around it very much. The Blue Jays and the Orioles are obviously my two biggest appointments and surprises because if you would have asked me, I would have said the Blue Jays would have been under 500 all year, and they're 582 on percentage right now at 53 and 38 and first in the East. I did not expect that at all. I don't think anybody did, along with the Orioles. I mean, we've talked about it all year pretty much. Blue Jays more recently, they're 9-1 in their last 10. They just can't lose this past month. So I'm not going to talk too long on it.
Yeah.
Then I'll just mention one real quick. Outside of them, the Texas Rangers. They weren't great last year. I know you always kind of have a down year after winning the World Series. It just kind of happens. But man, they're bad. They're probably in the worst division in baseball, and they are 44 and 47 and in fourth place under the Angels. Like I can't believe how bad that team's gotten. It's genuinely the same team that won the World Series, I feel like, and they just can't do it anymore, I guess.
The hangovers just kept carrying longer for those guys, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I had to pick a singular team, I know we're beating a dead horse. I probably would go the Baltimore Orioles. Let's be real. They've fallen apart. I still think they have a good core, but man, they really have. They haven't, like Roy said, they're hanging around. They haven't played that bad since the first 2 months.
They
But like we said,
you gotta pitch it.
That's true, but you can't win a division in the first month, but you surely can lose it. And I feel like that's what's happened to them. I mean, they got in such a hole. I mean, they're just not going to go on that type of run. But we beat it like a dead horse. We've said it all year because it's been since the first day. I'm going to pick a little bit different of a route. I'm going to do a division. It's the AL Central outside the Detroit Tigers. Yes, the White Sox are terrible. We knew that. The Cleveland Guardians were 3 games away from the World Series last year.
Yeah.
They're 7 games under 500. They're worse than the Twins. The Twins, to me, 43 and 47. That's about what I would think they were. A little bit lower than 500. Kansas City Royals, 2 games away from beating the Yankees in the ALDS. 4 games under 500. Yes, it looks worse. They're 14 back because Detroit has the best record in the American League. I just think the Royals are a better team than 4 games under, and I surely think the Guardians are a better team than 7 games under. So I'll give that as my biggest disappointment. My biggest surprise, I mean, the Blue Jays, but they're just hot. I mean, you take away their 9-game win streak and make that 500, they're like 6 games over. I'll probably say the Houston Astros. I didn't think this team was very good. They trade Kyle Tucker. They lose Justin Verlander. Yes, he's not the same Justin Verlander, but they still did lose him. Yordan Alvarez has barely played this year. Who else did they lose? They lost Bregman. That's the other one. They lose Bregman. They don't get anything for those guys. They're 19 games over 500. Yes, they play in a weak division. I'll give them that. But still, they're 70 plus run differential. hats off. I mean, I hate that
I
team,
mean,
but
I think they were expecting to step back with those trades that they made, but trading Kyle Tucker, they got a prospect in Cam Smith who was MLB ready. We just didn't know how he
yeah,
was going to play, and they got Isaac Paredes from the Cubs
yeah,
and
who
Hayden
fits that
Wesneski.
ballpark? Yeah, who's out for the
Exactly.
whole year? Yeah,
But Isaac Paredes fits the ballpark perfectly. It's the best we've ever seen him play because of the ballpark. And
yeah,
Cam Smith's been unbelievable since getting moved from third base to
yeah,
right field or center field, wherever he's playing that
right
day.
field. So
Yeah.
yeah,
This is what Houston does. I
yeah,
mean, they get rid of their star and somehow come back better with the with these young players.
yeah,
I'm tired of it.
yeah,
Seems like every other organization does that except for a few, and it just pisses me off.
yeah. So that's what I got. Bryce, I see you have a topic you want to talk
Oh
about.
yeah. I wanted to ask you guys. I have a list of the people, but I wanted to ask you guys who you think the biggest All Star snubs are. People who didn't get
This
in who
year,
probably deserve to be in. Yes.
I guess I need to look because I looked at that once and I didn't start teams.
And I want to start off by saying I think I've already voiced that I don't like fan voting for one. I also think that not every team deserves an All Star because
Yeah, I hate
if
that.
you're not an All Star, you shouldn't be playing in the damn All Star game. That's just how it is. You're making
Yeah,
people who are better than you not get a chance to play because every team's got to have one. You can't tell me that the Colorado Rockies this year have an All Star on their team. You just
yeah,
can't
I
tell me
agree.
they do.
No, I hate that more than the fan vote
Yeah,
because the fan
like I
vote
get
at
it.
least they're putting
Yeah,
somebody in that's decent. They're not putting in the best player on a worse team that's nowhere close to an all-star. Like Javier Baez. I don't believe he should be an all-star. At least his stats are respectable. They're not good. They're not great, but they're not
yeah.
awful. Because my biggest snub will be because of them having to put a team player in. So, Roy, you got some names
I
or no?
mean, I'm looking at it. I mean, I'm looking at people who they said or looking up who's. I mean, Juan Soto is a big name that everybody says why isn't he snubbed? I'm looking here. Everybody see on the list. I mean, I'm not against anybody. You got one?
I have two. I have one from each league. Now,
Go ahead.
I've already talked to Bryce, and I know who Bryce is going to say on his list, and he's got a very fair point. But both of mine come because of a team having to put somebody in. I'll do the National League first. The Colorado Rockies have catcher Hunter Goodman in the All Star game. He's had a very good year. He plays in Colorado, so the ball flies. He's been very good. He is not a better baseball player this season than Juan Soto. He's just not. It's not even close. Juan Soto in the National League. I'm a WAR stat fan. I'll give it to you. Juan Soto does not play a lick of defense. He's not getting WAR for his defense. I think you guys could both agree on that. Bryce understands it. I don't know if Roy understands WAR as much as we do.
I
Juan
understand
Soto
that. I just don't
has
care
the
for it.
16th best WAR in baseball, counting all of WAR. If you just count offensive WAR, he's the third best player in baseball, and he had an awful first month. So that's my biggest snub. But most people agree that he was snubbed. I'm not taking it away. I really don't care. But
I mean, I've got Juan Soto's stats right here compared to Fernando Tatis Jr., who I
I
believe is a
agree.
starter,
Yes,
and
he
he
is.
beats him
Yes.
in WAR, games played, plate appearances, home runs,
Yeah,
RBIs, batting average, OPB, slugging, OPS, OPS
yeah.
plus.
It's just unbelievable that he's not an All Star this year. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't mind. I really don't care. I'm just saying he got snubbed. I'll go to the American League side. For the Chicago White Sox, Shane Smith got in. I mean, are we joking? Shane
Yeah.
Smith is not an all-star. Carlos Rodon got snubbed, and that's not even Yankee bias. He's been that good. He deserves that spot over Shane Smith. It's not close. I'd even say he deserves it over you say Kikuchi as well, but Kikuchi at least has decent stats. Um, I don't have Carlos Rodon or Shane Smith's stats open. I looked at them a while ago. I know they're not even close. So
I
that's
mean,
my two snubs.
he's a starter, right?
Shane Smith is a starter, and
Yeah.
so is Carlos Rodon.
Framber Valdez of the Houston Astros also did not get in, who has been unbelievable this year.
I will read you Shane Smith's stats if you want. Shane Smith is 3-7, plays for the White Sox. I really don't care about those stats. He started 17 games. In 83 innings, he's got 76 strikeouts with a 4.2 ERA. Carlos Rodon, on the other hand, has pitched 19 games, 111 innings with 127 strikeouts and a 3.3 ERA. He's generated 4 times the amount of WAR that Shane Smith has. Now I know that it's a because they have to put a White Sox in. I get it. They don't actually think that he's an all-star. I'm just saying that's ridiculous. That's all I have to say.
I mean,
I really don't care, but
I already talked to Josh. Mine's pretty obvious. It's crazy that Seiya Suzuki did not get in. He's the leader in RBIs and is also like a top 10 in home runs this year. He's just been an unbelievable hitter. He's a very underrated player. And Michael Busch. I can see why people say he shouldn't have been in, but the guy's been unbelievable. He's the best first baseman in the NL for this year up to this point. You can argue all you want. He's been the best at first base over Pete Alonso and Freddie Freeman. He's played better. I understand he's a platoon bat, so that's why I'm not super upset he didn't get an all-star pick. But the Seiya Suzuki one, I believe there's only been like one person ever who was leading the league in RBIs whenever the All-Star game came around and wasn't an All-Star. Do you guys have any guess who that could be?
not a clue.
Philly in 2008.
Ryan Howard.
Yep, Ryan Howard is the only other one, I believe.
Really? Oh.
Yes. So
Fun fact
it just
about
doesn't
Ryan
even
Howard.
make sense that he could get snubbed for and have the highest RBI. It just doesn't make sense to me. I get it's the position with Shohei, but he should still be on the reserves.
Yeah. Fun fact about Ryan Howard. He's my very first ever baseball card that I had an auto on. No big deal.
Eat fresh. That's what he always said in The Office.
That's all I got. Roy, you don't have a topic, so.
No, I was just no. I mean, I was only going to talk about the wild card, but we can wait till we talk about all that.
The wild card, as in, what do you mean?
This is standings and wild card, but we can talk about that some other time.
So I figured next week, I don't know exactly what we're going to do next week. We can talk. The draft will have already taken place. I don't know if you guys know anything about the draft, guys. I know about
Major League Baseball draft.
Yeah, I know about 10 of them. After that, I don't know a whole lot.
I usually look about like, I just look up like who because Yankees draft late, so I always look up see.
So we're real late this year.
Yeah, so I just kind of been like looking. I mean, college pitchers are the big thing going to go this year, early, especially.
There's the top 10 is basically going to have two positions: college or starting pitcher. Most of them colleges, like one or two high schoolers, and shortstops. That's like the only two things.
Yeah.
I've been doing research for my Dynasty Baseball League because I'm going to have a top pick. So I know about the top 10 because I'm going to have pick 1 and 11. But after that, I don't know that well. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about that next week. We can sprinkle in maybe some of the trade deadline stuff. But the week after, that will probably be our trade deadline episode.
Yeah, we're getting close to the end of the year.
Yeah. So I don't think we'll do it next week. We might sprinkle it, but the week after will be our trade deadline, which is always a fun episode because we kind of do a game and see who can do better. I don't think I have anything else for baseball. You guys?
No, I don't think so.
We're 11 days away from training camp starting for football, I believe.
Yeah, I almost started calculating.
Football's around the corner. Can't freaking wait.
Yeah, I'm excited. It should be fun. Football is always fun to talk. I feel like we get more in depth into football than we do baseball, just because you play so many baseball games. It's so repetitive. Football, there's so much anticipation and breakdown.
Like I think football is one game a week, and then baseball. Hell, there's 7 games in a week before we do another podcast.
All right, I think it just takes us to our games. You guys got a game?
I have one. I have one just like last week. I already spun the wheel and I already have my team. And like last week, there's a hidden player that if somebody guesses it, they win automatically. Okay.
I have a game as well, but I'll go after you. So
that's why I spun it early so I could decide what my hidden player was. But the team that it landed on is the San Francisco Giants.
Ooh. Why? We got to pick National League teams every damn day.
And Roy is still ahead of Josh, so he can go first.
Oh, I get to go first.
I won last week, though. Don't forget,
You won.
guys.
I'll give you this.
You
You
did
won
one
last.
last one. Okay.
Go ahead, Roy.
I thought. Oh, Barry Bonds. The game
I
out of
knew
the
you were
way.
going to say that name.
I want to
Cheap
get some. Get those guys out of the way.
Rafael Devers.
Oh, that would have been a good one. I should have picked that as my.
That's why I said it. I kind of thought that was who you picked.
I'm
I
gonna
will say this isn't my favorite Giant of all time, like the Brave was, but
Hunter Pence.
nope.
Wow. Tim Lincecum.
I was gonna say him. I didn't know if you could remember that.
Christ's sake,
Will
Roy.
Clark.
Ooh, that's a little out there.
That's way before your time.
Matt Cain.
Good one. Kevin Mitchell.
I've never heard that name. That could be wrong for all I know.
Yeah, he played third base.
Ryan Vogelsong. I'm literally going through the rotation of Lincecum, Kane, Vogelsong, all of them. They're all on the same team.
Bass and Bumgarner.
That was literally my next one.
I was trying to think who can I get him off that list.
I was literally going through the rotation that year. Pablo Sandoval.
Oh, I forgot the Panda.
Well, I really thought that was it, Bryce.
Buster Posey.
Brandon Belt.
Mm-hmm. Brandon Crawford.
I knew that was your next name. That was my next name too.
I'm trying to think of ones
one of
you
my
might
favorite Giants of all
know.
time. I love Brandon Crawford.
Cardinal legend too.
No, he's not. He's at the bench
What?
all the time.
He played for the Cardinals last year.
Yeah,
3/4 of the year where he retired.
And he was a legend.
Oh, I knew that pissed Bryce off. Trying to think if there's any fun names before I get to like Brian Wilson. Big beard.
Big beard. Yeah. I forgot about him. I'm going to go Jeff Kent.
I know who that is. Sergio Romo, another reliever in there. You remember Sergio Romo?
Sergio Romo, I do. Willie Mays.
That's old. Evan Longoria.
Oh, I forgot you were on that team.
Yeah, for a brief stint.
Oh, I'm going to go Matt Toon Kid. Let's pitch it right now. Hayden Birdsong.
Bang! Roy got the player.
He's on my
Roy
dynasty
got the
baseball
player.
too.
Matt Toon, Illinois, representing Hayden Birdsong.
I forgot about that.
That's what I get for going old school names, mother effer.
I was thinking you were going to go with an old school name.
I thought about the first name that always comes to mind is Barry Bonds, obviously, but I couldn't pick that.
No.
I had to pick someone I thought you guys would guess.
So Roy wins?
Roy did win this week.
Okay. That's fun. I like how there's a name so we don't go forever.
Yeah, because we could go. I mean, with the Giants, I might go old school a lot.
Well, I could go through like 2 or 3 years worth of players and get like 30 names. Like I could have ripped Wandy Peralta because he went to the Yankees from the Giants. I could have named Mike Tauchman, who the Yankees traded for Wandy Peralta.
Mike Tauchman.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the summer of Mike Tauchman.
All right. I have a game, and this one's going to be a fun one.
A fun one.
It's baseball reference. You can see the I'll just show it to you. You guys are going to have to guess the player. There's no wrong answers. You can rip guesses. You can okay. Can I see the screen?
Yeah, can you make it bigger?
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
Better?
Yep.
Okay. I have 5 people. Okay. So this is player number 1. Can you guys guess who this is? I have a mix of all types of players. So
what is ATH?
Athletics.
Okay, but I get it because they're not Oakland anymore. That's why I was confused.
Correct.
Pittsburgh and then Oakland.
So I think this is a good tip. Awards, like this player finished second in Rookie of the Year in 2018. These are his positions. So like third base. I think D stands for designated hitter. I'm not sure. The D always throws me off. 9 right field, left field, all those things. So
He's played the whole.
I'm gonna say Miguel Andujar.
it is Miguel Andujar, correct? All right, that one is complete.
I wouldn't have got that one. So good job, Roy.
But
Uh,
2TM, isn't that 2 teams then?
Correct. That means he was traded.
I was trying. That's where I was trying, man. Because I thought of him early, and I was thinking that pitcher that we got from Oakland, but we started. We didn't start with him, so I was trying to
Okay,
think.
I'm gonna get.
Oh, rookie of the year! I should have looked rookie of the year in 2018. I forgot. I didn't even see that
Okay.
over there.
I'm gonna. I have to do this a few times. It won't let me just switch, sadly. Next one is this one.
How many
Okay.
Yankee players are you gonna get? Jeez.
This is a Cub as well. 16-year
MVP for the
career.
Yankees.
What's that?
MVP for the Yankees and an MVP for the Cubs.
No, so MVP third, MVP 20. So he finished 20.
Oh, that's where he finished. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be like
He's an
highlighted.
all-star.
And this means all-star right here. And if it's bold, that means he led the league in that category. So like he led the league in plate appearances, at-bats, runs, hits, and stolen bases in 2002.
Well, this one all the way back to 99. Okay. Cub. Let's see. Let me look at some stats here. A lot of home runs. Ooh, quite 46 home runs with Washington.
Where the hell do you see that?
Isn't that what it says?
Yeah.
In
that is what it
2006, 46 home runs.
Oh, I didn't even see that season in there. You're right.
Who had 46 homes for Washington?
I didn't even know he played for Washington. This is a Yankee and a Cub. Come on, guys.
I know. I had
Dude,
a
this
name,
is
but
like
I don't.
I was 6 years old, Josh. He was a Cub.
He was a Cub in 2013.
It's gonna piss me off.
I'm not. This is gonna sound crazy when Roy hears the name, because I know Roy knows the player. If he might not remember it like on here, but he knows the player. I know this player as a Cub. That's how I grew up, knowing he was a Cub, like a good Cub. I never knew he played for the Yankees until I got to like right around this age, 13, 14 for me. But I know him as a Cub. Roy probably knows him as a Yankee, if I had to guess.
Try and go through the lineup here. He was a Marlin. No, that wouldn't be right. Joe Girardi?
Not Joe Girardi. Joe Girardi was managing the Yankees in 2009, so he was not playing.
Damn it. Just going through. I'm trying to go through the 99 to 2001 in my head.
The second or the position should also help. Primarily in this range, played second base.
Oh, I didn't even.
And over here, he played left field for the Cubs mainly.
Oh, Alfonso Soriano.
It is Alfonso Soriano.
I was literally just about to say it whenever he said left field.
I didn't even because I didn't think.
I didn't know he was a Yankee.
Positions? Where's it say second base and all that?
4 positions.
4. Oh, I didn't even
4.
I didn't even look at that. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know which side of the field 7 was, so I was just going through all.
I guess I didn't know he played for Washington either.
I didn't either. But Roy, when you think of Alfonso Soriano, is he a Yankee?
He's a Yankee because he got traded for A-Rod.
See, to me, when I started watching, he was a great Cub. And I went, oh, Alfonso Soriano's a Cub legend.
He's like an all-time legend for the Cubs.
Also, this is when the Cubs were pretty terrible, so like he was really the only good player, really. Okay, that's that one. Oh, did I close one I shouldn't have accidentally? Sure did. Let me see which one. We'll do this one next. Okay. So, obviously, this is a pitcher.
Ooh. Does it have like? Can I tell if he's a starter or a reliever on one of these?
Yeah, so like games started.
Or he'd be a
Games
starter.
he's played in,
Okay.
games started. You could also look at his awards over here. See how it's bolded?
Cy Young for the Cubs in 2015.
Gosh, what was his name?
2016 was an All Star. Jake Arrieta.
It
That's
is
Or-
Jake
That's what I was
Arrieta.
trying to think of. Was Jake Arrieta? I couldn't think of his name.
Say, I don't think Lester ever won a Cy Young, but I didn't know where he won after.
Well, he was in Boston first.
Okay. Let me. That's the other one I didn't have. Okay. I got two left. I'm saving the last one's the hardest one. There you go.
I already know who it is.
I'll let Roy give a shot.
Colorado.
I picked this one for you, Bryce.
I knew who it was immediately.
Why is that?
One of my favorite players.
Was a Yankee in 2019? Colorado.
Watched him rob a home run right in front of me to win the game. Coolest sports moment of my life.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yankee legend Mike Tauchman.
Mike Tauchman name was said in the video already, Roy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who cares about Mike Tauchman?
And the last one.
Did you just type in random people for this, Josh?
No, I just kind of I tried to pick a lot of Yankees and Cubs, and then I steered away at the end.
Yankee, Cub, White Sox?
Short career.
Short career.
So it was a hitter, outfielder.
Correct.
Played DH in center field in 2022.
2020.
Who the fuck would that be? Who was our center fielder that year?
I was trying to think who our
Or
center
that would
fielder.
be left fielder and right fielder.
7 is left, 9 is right. He was
Yeah.
really a corner outfielder.
Corner outfielder
That's
in
not him.
17. 18. He didn't have. He had quite a few plate appearances, not a whole lot of home runs.
Oh, he barely played as a Cub. That's why I'm not. He was probably no, that's not who it was. Probably a bench bat for us.
Damn, I'm trying to think of outfielders from 2017. So, Judge and Stanton were in 2017.
I know this won't be a whole lot of help to you guys. This player was a top 5 pick in the MLB draft. This guy was supposed to be a superstar.
Aaron Hicks? No. Aaron
Oh
Hicks.
my God, that name did not need to come out of your mouth, Roy.
That's Josh's favorite player ever.
He started with Minnesota.
That's one of my least favorite Yankees of all time.
He was a top 5 pick. Clint
I won't
Frazier.
It is Clint Frazier. What a pull, Roy.
Yeah,
No, I
Wow.
didn't think you guys would get this one. I really didn't.
And it's funny because the only reason he popped in my head, I just saw a video of him interviewed not too long ago about the Yankees shaving
Yep.
thing. And
He's been on a lot of podcasts the last month about the Yankees. Yeah, he was the number 1 deal in the Andrew Miller trade. I don't know if you
That's
remember
right.
that,
He was in
Roy.
Cleveland.
To Cleveland the year that they went to the World Series and lost the Cubs because we traded Chapman to the Cubs and Miller to the Guardians. We got Glaber, who was like a top 5 prospect in baseball for Aroldis, and then we got Clint Frazier for him. And I said, "Oh, we are set up for the
Frazier
future,
was a
baby."
joke for
And
us.
he was terrible.
What was his?
All right.
What was his averages? As a Yankee?
210.
Jeez,
Never.
I remember he
complained.
was so bad, and they just kept playing him every day, and I was like, God.
Well, he literally had like elite metrics with like his swing, and good Lord, if he could just hit the ball, but he just couldn't hit it. Man, what a bust. But yeah, that was fun. I want to get some weird names in there. I think I'm going to do that from now on this week. I might not have 5, but And then once we get into football season, I might rip some football players in there. So
Yeah, I'll struggle with football.
hey, you guys went 5 for 5. All right,
Yeah,
like
we
button,
did.
subscribe, comment. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.